Francis Bacon quotes: "Some books should be tasted, some devoured, but only a few should be chewed and digested thoroughly. If a man will begin with certainties, he shall end in doubts, but if he will be content to begin with doubts, he shall end in certainties. Hope is a good breakfast, but it is a bad supper. A wise man will make more opportunities than he finds." Imagination was given to man to compensate him for what he is not, a sense of humor to console him for what he is. Begin doing what you want to do now. We are not living in eternity. We have only this moment, sparkling like a star in our hand and melting like a snowflake. Man prefers to believe what he prefers to be true. Wonder is the seed of knowledge. Age appears best in four things: old wood to burn, old wine to drink, old friends to trust and old authors to read. Money is a great servant but a bad master. It is a sad fate for a man to die too well known to everybody else, and still unknown to himself. The job of the artist is always to deepen the mystery. Reading make the full man, and writing an exact man. And, therefore, if a man write little, he need have a present wit, and if he read little, he need have much cunning to seem to know which he doth not. In order for the light to shine so brightly, the darkness must be present. Knowledge itself is power. It is impossible to love and be wise. Read not to contradict and confute, nor to believe and take for granted, but to weigh and consider. In taking revenge, a man is but even with his enemy, but in passing it over, he is superior. There are two ways of spreading light: to be the candle or the mirror that reflects it. The less people speak of their greatness, the more we think of it. The general root of superstition, namely, that men observe when things hit, and not when they miss, and commit to memory the one, and forget and pass over the other. Champagne for my real friends, real pain for my sham friends. If we are to achieve things never before accomplished, we must employ methods never before attempted. Philosophy, when superficially studied, excites doubt; when thoroughly explored, it dispels it. There is no comparison between that which is lost by not succeeding and that which is lost by not trying. God has, in fact, written 2 books, not just one. Of course, we are all familiar with the first book he wrote, namely Scripture. But he has written a second book called Creation. Reading make the full man, conference a ready man, and writing an exact man. The root of all superstition is that men observe when a thing hits, but not when it misses. Truth is so hard to tell, it sometimes needs fiction to make it plausible. The monuments of wit survive the monuments of power. They are ill discoverers that think there is no land when they can see nothing but sea. The only really interesting thing is what happens between 2 people in a room. Some books are to be tasted, others to be swallowed, and some few to be chewed and digested, that is, some books are to be read only in parts, others to be read, but not curiously, and some few are to be read wholly, and with diligence and attention. The serpent, if it wants to become the dragon, must eat itself. Histories make men wise, poets, witty, the mathematics, subtle, natural philosophy, deep, moral, grave, logic and rhetoric, able to contend. Write down the thoughts of the moment. Those that come unsought for are commonly the most valuable. Great boldness is seldom without some absurdity. The worst solitude is to be destitute of true friendship. Solomon saith, "There is no new thing upon the earth." So that as Plato had an imagination, that all knowledge was but remembrance, so Solomon giveth his sentence, that all novelty is but oblivion. Whosoever is delighted in solitude is either a wild beast or a god. For a crowd is not company, and faces are but a gallery of pictures, and talk but a tinkling cymbal, where there is no love. Nature cannot be commanded except by being obeyed. A prudent question is one half of wisdom. Money is like manure, it's only good if you spread it around. Silence is the virtue of fools. Some books are to be tasted, others to be swallowed, and some few to be chewed and digested. The remedy is worse than the disease. A man that is young in years may be old in hours if he have lost no time.